What's up guys? Welcome back by this new video. Today doing the Great League, and today I'm going to test out the new Psycho Cut Gallade. Gallade is a fighting and psychic type. It has Psycho Cut as fast move, that's a new move, close combat and leaf blade, and it's just super spammy. This is my best Gallade that I have. Pretty bad, but that doesn't matter. And my team that I'm using is Wormadam Trash with the new metal sound. And yeah, further charge moves are Iron Head and Bug Buzz. And Toad with Mud Shot and Scald and Ice Beam. So let's hop into the first match. And guys, I really want to make it to 400 subscribers, so definitely press that like and subscribe button. It always helps me. And yeah, let's hop into the video. So guys, into the first match of the video. We go against Hexillock. I'm starting with Wormadam against the Stunfisk, and then switching straight into Gallade, but opponent goes and commit the match straight. I don't know why, but I always like it. Second match then. Wormadam into Dugong. And it surprised me how fast Wormadam can generate energy right now instead of using Confusion. That metal sound is really good for these matches. So I'm continued with some metal sounds and then making it to the bug boss, and that does quite some damage. Getting lucky with the defense fell. That's I think only 10%. Opponent goes for drill run. Did not quite do some damage. So because of the defense drop, I can just KO that Dugong with Iron Head. An opponent is throwing right now a Venusaur. Could be quite difficult, but because I have Bug Boss and getting another defense fell, I'm very lucky. Then I can make it to an Iron Head here just before Wormadam dies. I switched into Gallade, maybe to let my Wormadam make a catch later. But opponent in the back has an unfortunate Wigglytuff. That's not the best Pokemon to go against. But I'm making it to 2 Leaf Blades, going for the second one right now. Opponent will shield the second one. And that leaves me with a ton of energy. So, yeah, Wormadam is pretty useless right now, but maybe for potential catch later on, it could be very useful. This will be a disarming voice, I expect, so, no, an icy wind it could be, so I'm just shielded it just to be safe. And right now I have a move saved, I don't know, but I knew that Venusaur got a move and I didn't want it to play on the CMP, so I made a beautiful catch on my Wormadam Trash. And going here for close combat with my Lucario and winning the match. Usually I am not really using Lucario in just videos like these, but you know, it's a fun Pokemon, so why not? I switched into Lucario straight after seeing that Lantern. Opponent threw out an Aromatisse. And unfortunately, my counters are just shortly to KO that Aromatisse. So I'm switched out into Gallade to get some energy. But the opponent in the back has a Venusaur that's quite annoying. And at this point I had to throw a move, I know, but I choose to shield this move. Going here for a close combat, this will deal massive damage, or at least, yeah, it did quite some damage, but opponent saved up some energy and went into his Lantern. I used straight up my first shield. I thought it would be a Thunderbolt, but probably not. So yeah, I shielded it. I went for the Bug Buzz, got lucky with the defense fell. But then I thought, why not just go for a bait? But I bait failed here, you will see it. I'm going here for an Iron Head. but opponent calls the bait. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Then going for another Iron Head. This time opponent just commits it, and yeah, at this point I've lost the match because Venusaur has some moves loaded, and I cannot do much against a Venusaur with a ton of energy. So unfortunately enough, I've lost. But that's fine. It's not the worst. So into the next match, Wormadam into a Jirachi. That's a very nice one. So I really like that. Opponent will go for Doom Desire. That does okay amount of damage, not too special. I went for the Buck Pass, that did a little bit more. So yeah, Doom Desire, I can tank that without problems. And at this time, I knew that Iron Hand will be already enough to KO the opponent, so I just KO'd him. Why not? Went for the Iron Hand, second one. And luckily enough, I could just counter down with my Lucario. And because I have some mute moves left on both of my Pokemons, I was very happy to see the Trevenant because Gallade was pretty useless against that one. So I went for the Shadow Ball, instant KO of that thing. Opponent in the back had a Politoed. And he should have thrown that Pokemon in before, while I had the Lucario. But then I had a quite annoying lead, and that's against a Swallow. That Pokemon's quite annoying because he went for an Aerial Ace that did a ton of damage, just a little bit too much. Just an Aerial Ace. I know that Lucario isn't the tankiest one, but still, it's just annoying. I went here for a close combat. I KO'd that Swallow, but I lost shield advantage. Then the opponent had brought out an Oricorio, the I don't know, Bill style, I think it is, the Fire and Flying version of it. I went for Leaf Blade to at least get a shield, maybe. Just baiting the opponent. Went for close combat. Opponent nicely shielded that one as well. I didn't know what Oricorio's moveset was, but I was still very happy to catch that Hurricane with a shield. Right now I went for almost a back-to-back Iron Head. I think that was solid to go for another Iron Head. Pretty okay. And in the back, I was very lucky. Opponent had an Alolan Ninetales. And while Steel is double super effective against Ice and Fairy types, I just won the match. But yeah, that Alolan Ninetales just couldn't KO me anyway. As a reward, I got a matchup. Not too special at all. But it was still very nice to get that one. Just a simple matchup. So then into the second streak, first match of the second streak, we went against a very, annoying Pokemon, and that's a Swampert. I didn't like it at all. Opponent went straight for Hydro Cannon, that did quite some damage. I went for the Bug Buzz here. Bug Buzz did quite some damage against that Swampert. I waited till the Swampert will throw another move out. He went for another Hydro Cannon, that was fine. I went for my Lucario and countered him down. But my Wormadam was pretty low. But then opponent switched out into an Altaria that I didn't expect it at all. That was very annoying. But Altaria, I could make it to one more close combat just before I will die. So I was very happy with that. Then bringing out my Wormadam Trash to catch one Sky Attack. And then it was all up to Gallade. I had to throw a shield here, otherwise I was just completely dead. But then I went for Psycho Cut Farm Down. It was perfectly. An opponent in the back had a double And while I baited the opponent out with the Leaf Blade, I didn't really know how good the close combats against the double is, because double is an okay tanky Pokemon. But yeah, at the end, I shielded this very nicely. So then into the next match, went Wormadam into Cresselia. Very nice lead. I could just stay in. But here, opponent makes some beautiful catch on a Licky Tongue. But it wouldn't really matter. I got the defense fail and I could throw in my Lucario pretty easily, so yeah, it didn't really matter at this point for me. So yeah, I KO'd that Licky Tongue without real problems. And then opponent had my champ in the back, so I had to throw in my Gallade, because that one deals super effective damage. I shielded this one. It was only a cross chop, so I didn't really need it to shield. But yeah, it still was a little better that I shielded it at the end. Then opponent did once again a beautiful catch on my Gallade. I went for a Wormadam back, just the return of Wormadam. And yeah, went for the bug boss. That's the best option I could go for. Almost KO'd the opponent, but opponent with 1 HP could survive those metal sounds and could go for one more Moonblast. And then opponent brought in his Shadow Machamp. So I had to go here for, yeah, just letting it go. And because I had 1 shield left, I could just easily win this match. Then, and opponent still had a shield left, so I didn't know why he didn't throw that one. But right now, next match, starting once again Dugong. Yeah, Wormadam Trash into Dugong. Pretty easily lead. And just let this drill run go. That's not a problem. Then going on alignment with a bug bus. That's completely fine. Opponent went for another drill run. Then he made a beautiful catch on an Anylape. So yeah, 1 Iron Head did at least quite some damage. Then I could throw very easily a Leaf Blade in. That did okay amount of damage, not too special or something like that. Opponent went for Ice Punch with his Anylape. It was okay. Still not really a problem. I went for my Leaf Blade. Opponent shielded it once again, and this was a little bit, yeah, risking it to shield. But then I noticed I couldn't be able to KO the opponent, so I don't know why I went for a close combat with my Gallade, but that did quite some damage. Then a beautiful catch on my Wormadam Trash. A really beautiful catch that I really needed it. Opponent went back into his Dugong. I went for a beautiful Leaf Blade, and I could just yet KO that opponent's Anylape with my Gallade, so I was very happy. Otherwise he could be able to make it to maybe an Ice Punch or something like that. I think at least. But into the next match, a really bad lead, a Core Breaker, and that was an Skeledirge. That was very weak. Very bad. Then opponent brought in a new Furligator with Shadow Claw. Very hateful Pokemon as well, on my opinion. Yeah, so right now I didn't really know what I had to do. So I just let this go and just waited out. I could throw in my Lucario, made it to a Shadow Ball. Opponent shielded, and that means I couldn't win this, because Wormadam will be absolutely destroyed, and I had to throw at least 2 Iron Heads to KO. But then into, I think, the last match of the second streak, opponent just committed instantly. I was very happy with that. So at the end, I won once again 4 times. I caught a very nice frillish. It was the hundo, so I don't really needed it. But still was a nice gift. I ranked up to rank 9, and then against Messon, yes, or something like that. We started against Gallade, against an Calventula. But as you can see, my Wormadam is almost equal. My Wormadam's bug buzz is almost equal to Galventula's lunch or something like that. So here I went for the bug buzz, did quite some damage. Here I should have shielded this move, but I didn't. So it almost KO'd me. And then the Jellicent could very easily KO, and at this point it was in a very weak spot. Because Gallade will take super effective damage just from that Hex. And I couldn't really do anything, so I went here for the Leaf Blade. Opponent unfortunately shielded it. I had to shield it as well. But then a Bubble Beam, the most annoying attack on an Jellicent that you can have, or that the opponent can have. So then I just let a Shadow Ball into me go. Opponent had a Toxicroak. I just needed to shield, and I had to make it to a back-to-back move. So I went here for the close combat to make sure that I could KO him. Then one Leaf Blade. But will this Leaf Blade be enough to kill that Jellicent? Not at all. And then I lost a very important match here. So yeah, then second match of the third streak started great against that Alola Ninetales. I noticed that I just could go and throw a very strong bug buzz into that Unova Stunfisk. Wasn't really a problem. Opponent went for discharge into my Gallade while I switched into Gallade. Made it to a Leaf Blade here. Opponent shielded it very nicely. Couldn't do much against it. So I went for another Leaf Blade. Why not? This Leaf Blade did quite some damage, but I really wanted to win this switch because of that Alola Ninetales, so I had to go into my Gallade and unfortunately throw out 2 shields here. Opponent went for discharge, but he switched into a Greedent, and I made a little bit of a mistake because I shouldn't switch into Wormadam, I should switch into my Lucario, but I was just scared that he would try to snipe me off with the charm. That's why I switched so fast after that one. The opponent went for another crunch here. I wanted to KO that opponent really hard, so I went here for an Iron Head. That was already good. But then I didn't understand that the opponent switched out into his Alola Ninetales. This Iron Head KO'd him instantly. Opponent went for into his that thing that Unova Stunfisk, and I could just very easily KO him with my Lucario without real problems. So I was very happy. Then next match we started against an Alola Ninetales. Opponent switched out into Diggersby. That was okay-ish, not too special at all. Could just very easily stay in. Opponent went for Fire Punch, but I made a beautiful catch on my Gallade. I went here for the Leaf Blade. It was okay. Then opponent went back into his Alola Ninetales. I wanted to make it to a close combat, but instead I lost it. So opponent Alola Ninetales Then switched out into Lantern. I went for a very strong Bug Buzz. That opponent just let it go. But I was very lucky to get that defense draw of that thing. Very lucky. Yeah, opponent went continued with his moves throwing. But unfortunately, it was a simultaneous KO. And at this point, it was Metal Sound against Charm. Which move was faster? And unfortunately, Charm was with one, little thick or something, just more like how you want to say it, a little faster. So yeah, that was very unlucky. But then into a very great start into the fourth match of the third streak, I think. Started against Superior, then opponent switched out into a Gligar, and I was very happy because I was very weak to Gligar at all. So I had to throw in a move at least, then go into Gallade because Gallade was my spammiest Pokemon in my team. Then I went here for a very nice Leaf Blade. Yeah, opponent just was waiting. He went into his Superior. I went here for a very strong close combat. That was quite okay. It went okay-ish. This close combat did at least quite some damage. I was very happy with that. But opponent with his Superior went for Frenzy Plant. That did quite some damage, to be honest. I went here for a close combat. That was my best option to throw in. Opponent nicely shielded it. I went back into my Wormadam Trash, but problem with Lantern is just too good. It's a very good Pokemon. I went here for a Bug Buzz, but that wasn't enough. At least I got a defense fill, but yeah, that didn't really do anything for me. So yeah, that was very unlucky. And I lost this match. So into the last match of this video, I think. Started against Toxapex. That is okay Pokemon, not too special at all. Went for the Bug Buzz here. Did okay amount of damage, but my entire team wasn't the best one against Toxapex at all, so I wanted just to stay in, see how far I could go. But then after this Bug Buzz, I noticed it was almost the same amount, like a Bug Buzz was equal to a Brine, so I knew at this point I could make a beautiful catch. So I tried to do that. But this time the Brine was one Metal Sound faster. And that was very unlucky for me. But opponent, I switched into my Gallade. Opponent went into his Crafty. That was okay. Not too special at all. Opponent went for Foul Play at first. I was very happy that I shielded that one. I went here for a close combat. I think that was the best thing to do because she was throwing a move anyway. And I had the Lucario still, so it wasn't really a problem for me. I went into my Lucario against that Scrafty. Then we simultaneous switch. I switched into my Wormadam, but I wasn't able to make it to an Iron Head, so I have lost this match against the Trevenant. And that's it. I won only one time in the last streak, so 9 wins at all. So at the end, we have won 9 out of 15 matches. The first two we won with the first 2 streaks we won 4 times. Last one unfortunately didn't go that well, but that's fine. yeah, anyway, my opinion about Gallade is it's just so spammy. I love it. I love the spamminess of Gallade. And it will definitely, yeah, be meta irrelevant maybe. But yeah, we will see that. And Wormadam Trash with metal sound I really liked as well. But yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely press that like and subscribe button. It always helps me. And I really want to make it this month to 400 subscribers, but I can only do that with you. Uh, Hopefully you have a nice day, and I will see you then in the next video. Peace out, guys.